So time is a little bit short this week, and also the first part of next week, but we'll get to that at the end of the video. What I'm going to be doing today is a bit of a quick build. I just saw this idea in one of the comments about making a car that has a ton of wheel spin, and so I thought, why don't we do that? But let's try and do some interesting tests as well in terms of practicality with that wheel spin. So you'll probably see here, this is the Bemaro 3.0. I've renamed it the Bemaro 3.0 Wheelspin. This is a cloned version, don't worry, I'm not going to ruin this channel classic. But back in these days especially, my gearing was way off, it kind of still is, and my cars just generally had terrible wheel spin. This one, not so bad. I mean, this is the third revision of this car, so it better not be terrible, but it's 27%, and then you can see most of it is in the first 3 gears. So what I wanted to do today was, let's try and make this 100%, and then 100% in every gear, and then we'll try and drive it and see what it's like. So in order to do that, there are a few things that we can do. Mainly, we could open up the differentials and then we'd have spinning gears, or we'd have open diffs and we'd be spinning one wheel on each side because it's an all-wheel drive. But we're not going to do that for this. My thinking was, the first thing we can do is get it to take away the semi-slicks and immediately go for chunky off-road. So before we do anything, 27.7%, 43.3%. That's how much of a difference that makes. So here's the Bemaro, off-road wheels on there. It does not look right. You can barely see it, but those are pretty chunky. And I was thinking as well, another huge factor to this is wheel size. So we could probably, oh, you know what? We could do it real dirty and go down to crossply. Oh, okay, no, crossply doesn't even function. Oh, goodness. It's literally a train. So I've made a car that is completely pizza cuttered. Crossply wheels only go up to a maximum size of 125, which means that the car is too heavy for them, which is incredibly unfortunate, and I really wish it wasn't, because that would be hilarious. But let's go back to radials. I was thinking that what we can do, like, it'll currently drive, okay, maybe it won't currently drive on those, but if we can get it to the point where it doesn't say that anymore, and we still have like very tiny wheels, still with the chunky off-road preset, this car is just going to be terrible on wheel spin. And then what we can also do is increase the spacing, and we can decrease the top speed of it as well, which is going to again increase the wheel spin. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to lock the diffs. So I'm putting an automatic locker, or actually a manual locker in it. My goal for this is to sort of be like the unicorn, so we're going to see how badly I can do that. And then generally, if you add more speeds, there will be more wheel spin as well. Now let's try a dual clutch. Oh yeah, wheel spin has gone up even more, 83%. We're getting close. The speed of this is going down, and the warning is getting more severe. Alright, so it still looks pretty ridiculous. I think what we'll do to fix that is maybe, just maybe, we'll put a little bit of offset on it. That's going to increase weight, but it will make it look relatively normal while still having pizza cutters on the front and the back. Goodness, that's such a wide stance for a train. Yeah, so it's still drivable. I mean, we're not going to really care about these kind of graphs. I probably should have said before, but this car has 2,900 horsepower. So it's going to spin these wheels pretty much no matter what, especially when they're this thin. Now I'm going to slightly experiment here. I want to see... I don't think the rim diameter is going to really change anything. Offset should be fine. 87.2%, is that good enough? Oh goodness, our brakes are a little too strong now that we have zero grip. Aerodynamics, we could just go with none. Just have no aerodynamics at all. That's not going to help with this. 88. Oh, you know what I just forgot? We can just turn down the quality of the wheels. Actually, that barely does anything. Alright, so what I've resorted to now is we have 88.8% chance of wheel spin, and it's nearly 100 in every gear, and I think that's just perfect. So we're going to take this to Beam, and I have some ideas for how we're going to drive this, but it's going to be a lot of fun. A little bit too much fun, perhaps. Oh, and before we go anywhere, let's change the color of it. Okay, well, it won't be orange. Maybe we'll just make it white so it's distinguished. Wow, white actually really looks good on the Bemaro, goodness. So I want you to take a look at what I've just done. There's a small 11 on the ground here. Yeah, it was done by this car. It behaves exactly as you would expect for something that is made to wheel spin. But I want to do something first. Let's compare it to the car that it's based off of. This is the the one before it was changed, just so you can see what that is like. Now I've currently got it in realistic gearbox. I'm going to be trying to use that for all vehicles now as a default. But let's go ahead and go. So there is wheel spin, but this car will get going without any trouble. It just does wheel spin at the lower end of the gears. Once you get into 4, 5, and 6, not so much, but yeah, low end gears, it definitely does wheel spin. Now this car is a totally different scenario, because once I start it up, I'm just going to go ahead and lock all of the diffs, so we have all the diffs locked. It's currently in neutral. I'll just shift it straight into, let's put it in sport mode actually, because there's a dual clutch, and then just instant acceleration. It'll spin the wheels with all the diffs locked, so every wheel is spinning at the same rate, and yeah, it's just a thing of beauty. I don't know what else to say. My ultimate creation is here. It's basically like driving on ice. Like, this is what I predict that any high horsepower car would feel like on the normal streets if it were raining. Because this thing just takes it to a whole new level. People who are asking for a drift car, here you go. Alright, slightly more serious. Let's put it back into sport. If I unlock these diffs, let's unlock all of the diffs actually. It just does not do anything except spin the tires on alternating sides depending on where the diffs see fit. But one thing as well that I've noticed is the brakes are really bad because the ABS is acting up because you just never have grip. Like, I'm just driving on ice at all times. So here's something fun. This is a ice strip on this map, and the whole reason I came here, if I have all the diffs locked, I think you can tell how this is gonna go. Pretty much nowhere. We can spin all day with these off-road tires. Now, if only Beam had better smoke effects, because goodness, this could be a smoke show right now. Oh no, I think I'm breaking. Oh, okay, I'm gonna break the game. What have I created? Okay, apparently the speedometer reads 300 kilometers an hour. My mind reads nothing. Is this just gonna keep accelerating? I'm just gonna wait for a bit here. Hold on a minute. What on this earth? Okay, so you're probably dizzy at this point. I was attempting to replicate the Beyblades there, and now the car is permanently stuck spinning on ice. So... Goodness, I don't know what to say. That was the weirdest glitch / exploit I have ever found, and I'm happy to say it was done with a car this dumb. Yeah, so this car to me is basically just... I'm constantly drifting, and there's not much you can say about it, but I was thinking that why don't we try and race this against a much slower car and see if my new drifting technique is actually faster than something that is significantly less in terms of performance. So let's try and do a track. First things first though, let's race it against the Bugo. Alright, so I have very specifically chosen a tight track, and I've also chosen the Bugo Turbo just to give it a slight advantage. I honestly think that this Bugo Turbo is gonna win this, and the reason for that is simple. That car has 0 grip, whereas this has grip. It might only have, I think it has 70 horsepower, but it's so small and so nimble, it should be able to do this. I'm going to be shifting both of them manually, or actually not in the dual clutch case. Oh no, I forgot how slow this thing is. Okay, I don't really do these tracks too often, so I'm pretty unfamiliar with them, which is why I'm taking the Bugo around first. Goodness, this is going to be extremely tough in that other car though. And it seems like first gear just might be the gear for this track in the Bugo. We're not going to be setting any lap records by any means here. You know what I just remembered though? That car has no brakes at all because of how little grip it has. So I'm going to have to go very slowly around most of these corners if I want to stay alive. Either that or I'm going to have to chain drift the entire course. So which one will happen? Probably gonna end up in the trees, let's be real. Getting up there with the Bugo, we actually made it into 3rd at one point on the track, but that is a 56-second run. That's my first time doing the track, so 57 seconds. Let's try again with the Bemaro. Alright, here we go. This is the pain and misery that I brought upon myself. Let's see if it's actually that bad though. I'm not gonna rev up at the beginning. I'm not gonna lock the diffs. We'll just stay as is. Oh no. That's not a good start. So the Bemaro is going to take as many times, or as many tries as it needs to get this done. Okay. I am trying to go fast here. I do want to chain drift the entire thing, but again, we just don't have enough grip to really hold the drift either. Because I could go about this the slow way and just kind of crawl around the track just like the Bugo did, but that's really not fair because this one will win in that case. It's just more fun to let it go free for a bit. Oh, come on, too wide. At least they're a little generous with the checkpoints. Oh, after this I think we might try some ice racing. We'll see how that goes. I believe I'm doing the track wrong at this point, but it's giving me points anyway, so I'll count that as a potential win. Come on, let's go. I just lost to a Bugo, didn't I? And I didn't even do the track properly. So here's an interesting one for you. I'm gonna lock all the diffs here because we're gonna need them. But this is a snow track, and it's a very hilly, very disastrous slow track for anything that is this low. By the way, I didn't show it on, oh, these are carbon fiber rims. Goodness, I didn't show it on the video, but I lowered this to the max just for the stance purposes. But this is going to be interesting. Let's try it. I'll try and get around the track. You'll see what it looks like in a bit, but this is the festival edition. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tough. One advantage that we do have is that we do have off-road wheels. They do give very little grip on pavement, but they're supposed to be better off-road. How much better though? Probably not much, and we're already beached here. Goodness, this car is terrible at this. Alright, made it through that section. Not that many issues, just got stuck on a rock, or three. Nice echo going through the tunnel. We'll stick to the easier portions. Oh, okay, maybe not then. I really like that tunnel echo, but unfortunately it looks like we're stuck in here. Alright, we've incurred minor damage, but I'm gonna keep going. Now the center bit here is a lot easier, so we'll take that. One thing as well is this car is extremely wide, basically from its previous heritage, and immediately we have burst a wheel. That is not gonna work too well. I guess when you have such thin tires and so much weight, it just doesn't work well under pressure. This car is not light at all. Oh, off a ramp, and we've hit compacted ground. That's probably gonna help a bit. I don't know what I was expecting with this one, but at least I'm having a fun time driving it. That's really all that matters. Oh, drifting in the snowbanks. Now this is where this car was made to be, and I'm accidentally taking the off-road portion. Okay, so I reset the car to give us a better chance at this upcoming section. There's a part of this track that I'm very specifically doing it for. You'll see that in a bit, or you'll actually have seen it if you've watched any of my previous videos on this track, which there have been a few. I like this thing quite a bit. It's called the Velodrome, by the way, if you're looking for it on the Steam Workshop. Alright, we're getting close to it. There's a part up here that we are going to struggle with a lot, because it does indeed involve a lot of grip, something we are sorely lacking in. Alright, we're slowly climbing the mountain. The road is relatively clear, but we're getting up to the mountain pass, and immediately we've jumped off of it. Alright, so here's an ice portion, and coming up we have another windy section, which is going to be fun. It usually requires a decent amount of precision, especially when you don't have the grip to make it through. There's the sign for it. Let's see if I can do it with this car. Man, I just get stuck on the tiniest boulders, but we're just getting thrown about with the wind as well. Oh no. Again, something else you might not have seen. Oh, there we go. Come on, car, stay on the ground. But I took off all the downforce in order to get it as low as it is. No, come on. Stay on the hill. Yeah, I tried. Alright, this should be the last challenging area. Okay, that's not true. The entire rest of the track is challenging, but we're gonna start descending the mountain now, which is important because that's where this car should do better. Coming up to the massive ice drop, the best part of this entire course, and the thing I've been waiting for this whole time, if we can make it there. Oh, please. Okay, here we go. So it's a glow stick laden, spinning vortex of ice. It's just too good. Just perfect for this thing. Oh, that mega drift, and we are flying. Oh, that was a mistake though, because we're gonna miss the jump. and jumping over things with ease, down the river upside down, flawless. I think the one issue I'm having the most now is that the car won't turn just because there is no grip on the front at all. They're even thinner than the back. There's just nothing there. Alright, coming up to the best ramp in the game. I've used this before. Perfect. And straight into the trees. Oh, come on. Trying to make a fun piece out of this. Oh yeah, there we go. Just up into that wheel spin. And hopefully into a sick drift. This is the snow that we came for. And the poles as well. And that's the finish. Not bad, only had to reset 15 or 16 times, I lost count. Overall, this car is not good in the snow. Alright, and because you drift junkies demand it, we're going to attempt to drift the drift course in the industrial circuit. This is not going to go well, I can guarantee you that. So you remember the 200BX that I made, the turbo one, with far too big an engine and a little bit too much power. This is actually a BeamNG build instead of automation. I'm going to quickly run the layout with this first, so you can see where I'm at. I'm pretty much nowhere, and then we'll try it with the car that's going to make it a lot easier, or harder, depending on your interpretation of that. Alright, let's see. Rev it up a little bit and into there. I think I'm just going to leave it in first. This car doesn't have ABS or anything. It is rear wheel drive, but you can see where I'm at in terms of drifting. I need a little bit of work. Okay, maybe first gear is a little bit too much in terms of speed. Let's try second, but I'll have to break the wheels to get into second, I think. Yeah, if we start in second, we don't gain enough speed, really. Like, we drive kind of slowly. Oh, maybe not. This car does have enough power to drift in second. Oh yeah, there we go. I need a skid pad. There's just no chance of me getting around these corners. So I know your disappointment is immeasurable, and your day may be ruined, but yeah, this is where I am in terms of drifting. Brief history, I've kind of been skipping the drift events in most games on purpose. If you go back in time with my channel, you can watch the playthroughs I did of Grid and Grid Autosport and also Dirt Rally, and almost every time in Grid when I was presented with an opportunity to do a drifting event, I believe it's that game that I'm thinking about, I wasn't really able to do it well, and so I tried to skip as many of them as I could, and then inevitably had to go back and beat the game by doing them all. So yeah, not great. Car is overheating. Let's go ahead and try out something that may make this a little bit easier, we'll see. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this one, first we'll start it up. Second, I'm going to lock the rear diff. So I'm not going to lock the front, I'm not going to lock the center, just the rear. Okay, that car is overheating over there, we'll just leave it. And I'm going to put it into manual so I can control the gears. We'll probably end up just staying in one. Let's see though. Yeah, poor 200BX, smoking over here, don't worry. We'll make a lot of smoke for you in a bit. Let's go. So first things first, immediately we need a wider track because there's no chance that this thing's gonna drift here. Oh my goodness, I've just turned it into a dirt racer. Okay, I gotta be a lot lighter on the throttle. This thing doesn't need much to get around the corners. If you've got any top drift tips, let me know. I think one of them might be get a better car, but yeah, we'll see about that in the future. Okay, this is not terrible. I'm just getting used to the thing. Oh, that's actually not bad. I'm drifting. That's a good start. I think the only reason I was able to drift that is because I got lucky there. I was able to get a good line and hold it, but every other time I'm just pulling out a little too wide. Yeah, that's okay though. We don't need much wheel speed with this one. Let's put it into second. Actually, let's put it into third. We should still be able to drift with that. That might lower the wheel speed a little bit and help with the sliding away, perhaps. Because this car does have 7 gears, and it will spin the wheels in every gear, so it doesn't seem to matter that much. Oh, here we go. I'm going to chain this one. Okay, I'm definitely not going to chain it. I'm just trying to go around in the loop a little bit, and completely missed it. That is a harsh bump there. I'm going to try to cut the track a little bit and go up that same corner that I did before, because I was able to do it. It wasn't amazing, but it was better than this. If we could just have this car be a rear-wheel drive car, can you imagine how undrivable it would be? It would just be a disaster. But I really wanted it to stay all-wheel drive just for the all-wheel drive burnouts. That's the only reason. Oh, I'm chaining now. We're linking drifts. Oh, too much throttle, too much speed. And the tree. Looks like the 200BX is ready to go again, but I'm just gonna try something else here. What I want to do, we have this like nice little strip of pavement, and our car is a little bit warmed up now, so it should be able to, goodness, make peak power. Shift into reverse. Back into drive. What I want to do though, I've got the rear diff locked, but what if we lock the front, rear, and center, and then we go for the biggest burnout in history? Let's try and do a huge all-wheel drive burnout with our nicely broken car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it into neutral, and I'm going to rev it up, and then I'm just going to drop it. Here we go. Yeah, that's about as bad as I expected. Okay, second thing that I'm curious about. Car's already damaged, so this isn't gonna matter too much. Let's try and, perhaps put it up against this wall, and then do the same thing, and see how much smoke we can generate. Okay, we're in neutral, rev it up, hit it in drive. It's bouncing, but it's making smoke. How long do you think before the tires go? How long? Well, if BeamNG would allow tires to pop based on wheel spin, I'm pretty sure they'd be gone at this point and we'd be down to rims. But, you know, sometimes this just has to keep going now. What about... oh, I have an idea now. This is even worse than my previous idea. Let's try reverse wheel spin. See if that'll work. Okay, so we might have left a few marks on the ground there, but we're just gonna trace over them once again. But we're gonna try and do it in reverse. I don't know how well this is gonna go. So I'm in park, rev it up, and reverse. What is this thing? And then we'll slam it into drive and immediately take off into the sunset, or in this case, perhaps into a tree, or into a bus, into the sky. Doesn't really matter. Well, thank you for joining me today and witnessing a horrific creation destroy tires and lives all in the same place. It was fun to do. It was fun to just mess around and make something dumb. But don't worry, next week I'll be coming back with a little bit more realism. I've got an idea planned, and I think you're gonna like it. It starts with an S, we'll say. It's gonna be fun, though. Just want to say a special thank you to those who have chosen to support the channel, specifically Canadian Steel, Will, Boris Ramirez, and Slow Fried Chicken 69. Thank you so much for your support. Every month that you've been supporting me, I appreciate it a lot. And if you're interested in joining this crew, ending up with your name set at the end of the video, you can just hit the join button, and if you're an advanced supporter, I will say your name at the end. But yeah, things are busy. Next week on Tuesday, I hope to release a video, but I might not be able to, just out of busyness. So we'll see how that goes. If I can't release a video, I won't be able to stream that day either, but I might be able to stream Monday. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I'll let you know. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.